Hey, this is Brent again. Now I'm going to cover what you need to let all of your visitors on the boat know as far as safety goes. I keep a list. You should do this too so that everything's covered and they know what can and can't be done safely. First of all, explain to them that the Dreamy Days is basically a floating city. The water, the electric, the waste is all internal and we have to deal with it. If we run out of one, we're out of luck, or if we overflow in the other, we're out of luck. The vessel is a large vessel. We're talking 44 tons and 65 feet long. So do not get caught between the dock and the boat. In other words, when you get ready to put the boat on the dock, you want to make sure you can step safely across and so that you don't fall in, because it is not going to stop you. In that regard, you cannot hold the boat. When you get ready to tie it up for the captain, you need to use a cleat knot around the cleat and immediately use that to hold the boat, because you cannot hold the boat. Number one threat on any vehicle like this is basically fire. So there are extinguishers located throughout the boat, and there's no smoking on the boat. You need to step out of the boat to smoke because there is fuel in the toy tanks up above. There are fuels below and back, and there are propane up front, so be careful with fire. There's a bell in front. We use it for assembly or to come back to the area. So in case people are out on the shore, it's a good way to call people back. You kind of need to know the nomenclature of the boat. So know that what the bow is, the starboard, the port, the stern, the head, the galley, the cuddy, the upper deck, and the main deck. Be aware that you cannot stand on the back swim deck while moving, and that children under 12 cannot be on the front deck while it's moving without a life jacket. That doesn't mean that you can't go out the back, go immediately up the ladder to the top or back. You just can't linger on the back deck while it's moving, and that's because of the carbon monoxide and flames. Hatch doors, we have hatch doors in the front. We have hatch doors right in the middle behind the captain's seat. You need to announce when the hatch doors are up, because most people have fallen into that hole, and it's about a 4-foot drop, and we don't want anybody hurt. So announce it. Danger, danger, hatch open, and be sure to shut the hatch when you're through with it. Life jackets are under the bar, and they're also in your ski boats. You must have a life jacket that's certified for every person, and you could get inspected, and they would expect to have those life jackets. So underneath the bar in front, there's a door, and you can get to a number of them right there. Ropes. Ropes are not only a danger that they get loose on the boat and they get caught in the props, so you want to make sure that you don't have any ropes that could go off the side, end up in the back, and get caught in the props. At the same time, you don't want a passenger to get caught in the ropes with their foot and get put over the board. So stay off the ropes, keep them coiled, and don't get your feet caught in them, and don't step on the ropes. You want to make sure you use gloves to handle the ropes and the anchors, because there are sharp spurs on the anchors, and actually you can get burrs and stuff in the ropes that can hurt your hands. Water. There's two types of water on the boat. There's the drinking water, which is in the small spigot that has all been held in a tank that's reserved and it's okay to drink. And then the larger spigots on all the sinks is lake water. So if you're brushing your teeth, use the small spigot. If you're washing your hands, feel free to use the lake water. If you're doing dishes, you can do the lake water. If you take a shower, you're taking a shower with lake water. You want to use biodegradable soap if you're using any type of soap, whether it's out back for washing your hair, your hands. There's a first aid kit that is above the kitchen stove in case you need it. There is also this AED defibrillator unit back here. All you have to do is open it up. It'll start talking to you and tell you exactly where to put the pads on the victim and how to use it. Carbon monoxide is the other killer on a boat. So no swimming off the back deck while the generator is running. No diving underneath where the motors are. There's actually a spot that's under there. It could hold fumes. So carbon monoxide, one of those things you don't want to mess with, and the stiller the air is, the more chance carbon monoxide can build up. So that's why you want a little bit of air circulation. Setting anchor lines. You want to make sure that you know where the wind is, because that's what you're going to have to hold with the anchors. Your captain will show you how to set the anchors, but you actually want to set at least 2 lines off the back stern and 2 lines off the front preferably also one on the very front that can keep you anchored. So at least 5. Some people will actually do midline ships and have 7 lines. As far as clothing and loose towels go, there are places to hang the towels on the back of the boat. There are clips, but as soon as the wind blows, it will blow them off. They will sink to the bottom, and if it's 30 feet down, you may not get your towel back. The lake will either be rising or falling at the time that you're on it. It can go up to 1 foot a day. So if you're rising, you want to move the boat up every day so that you're not rocking. And most importantly, if the lake's going down, you want to back it off, because you could end up on the shore and end up having to take your speedboat to pull the houseboat off of the shore at the end of the week. Docking of both your ski boats onto the houseboat, 2 ways to do it. You can go off either side on the back. Don't go off the stern, but go off either side so you don't hit the slide. And feel free to just tie it off to a cleat. Don't tie it to the rails, tie it to the cleats. And then another option is to use the whip system, which you'll see that's located on the side of the boat like 2 flagpole stances, and the whips are located up above, tied to the railing. Gangplanks. So a gangplank can be put out front to go on and off the boat real easily, but you want to make sure you put it down during the night, or that you're going to have rats on the ship, the unhuman kind. So be careful of that. We like to put foot baths out there so that people don't track in dirt. Put a couple of those foot baths down there so people can take their keens or whatever they're wearing, dunk them in the water real quick. And I say, don't worry about getting water on the boat. It's not the water that hurts, it's all the mud and stuff that you have with it. Restrooms. What we like to do, because we are all self-contained, is we have a little saying that if it's brown, flush it down, and if it's yellow, let it mellow. That keeps the tanks from getting full, especially if you have a full crew. You want to make sure that you clean the bowl. There are cleaning supplies by the side, and if you need to flush and use a little water to get that down, that's fine. Do not put anything down those tanks except for toilet paper and what comes out of you. Other things get clogged down there and we can't get it cleaned out. So please remember that. Lights. We have a 110 volt system and we have a 12 volt system. So you'll see light switches, and the top switch is for the 110 volts, which burns a lot of energy. So what you want to try to do is use the bottom switch, the 12 volts, and that saves us a lot of energy. We don't have to run the generator as much. Sleeping pads, we have those available downstairs in the cuddy, and you can move them up to the top deck. You can make singles or doubles out of them. They work really well. There's also pillows. There's 12 of them, so please leave the pillows so that there are 12 the following year. We have a map that's located up front. We got 2 maps. You're welcome to use them to show everybody where you're going and locations. So take advantage of those, but please return the maps. And be sure to use sunscreen. If there's anything that's going to cause you a problem out here, it's not using sunscreen. You can get burnt really easy. As far as music goes, you can plug in either downstairs or upstairs and listen to your own music on either of those levels, so feel free to do that. And in a nutshell, that's pretty well the safety talk that I give.